Today on the very first installment of Anime Dream Match, we have Gajeel Red Fox from Fairy Tail versus Greed the Average from Fullmetal Alchemist. This is a grudge match. This is a death match. This is a dream match. Anime matches you can only dream of watching. Who wins? Gajeel Red Fox is an Iron Dragon Slayer. He is also a member of the Fairy Tail Guild and a former S-Class mage of the Phantom Lord Guild. After Fairy Tail disbandment, Gajeel joined the Magic Council and becomes the captain of a custody enforcement unit. But after Avatar is defeated, he then returns to Fairy Tail. Originally a Dragon Slayer from the 400-year past, Gajeel was sent to the future to assist the destruction of Agnolia. Gajeel has a very odd look. He's tall, muscular, has long spiky hair which is usually kept slicked back, revealing his forehead. He used to have a bandana as well. He had red eyes and intentionally portrayed as green. He has no visible eyebrows, and I think that's kind of funny. I think this is also a very deep inspiration to Dragon Ball Z, because when you in Super Saiyan 3 you have no eyebrows and his hair is somewhat like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Very interesting, something that you can honestly add as a theory per se. He also has piercings on his eyebrows and on his nose. When Gajeel first appeared in Fairy Tail, he was very cold-hearted. He attacked Fairy Tail and even left some of them for dead. After Makarov showed Gajeel the way and allowed him to be in the Fairy Tail Guild, then and only then he became more lighthearted and very humorous. Gajeel is also very short-tempered. Him and Natsu fight all the time, almost as rivals, almost as similar as Natsu and Gray. 400 years ago, Gajeel was taught Iron Dragon Slayer magic by Melikana, then had his body used to house his foster father's damaged soul. Melikana hid himself inside Gajeel's body to create antibodies that would stop Gajeel's natural gravitation process. Gajeel was then sent in time 400 years later, awakening on July 7th, X777. One of the few moments that really show Gajeel is that Makarov appoints him to join the Fairy Tail Guild, and he basically says Gajeel is just a lost soul traveling down the wrong path.
I cannot guarantee total salvation. I can merely point you down a path out of the shadows. Will you choose to walk that path? Or to forego it and remain where you are?
Gajeel has that very hard body, very ill-tempered kind of feel. He also has a very humorous side. In the Eldelas arc, he is always trying to look for a cat. He always wants a cat. He gets upset because Natsu is a Dragon Slayer and he has Happy. Wendy's a Dragon Slayer and she has Carla, but he's a Dragon Slayer and he does not have a cat. Later on in that arc, he decides that he will make Panther Lily his cat. Gajeel later then faces Panther Lily, and they seem to be even in the fight. Gajeel is a very interesting character. He prides himself always trying to be Natsu's equal, always trying to be above Natsu, somewhat like Vegeta and Goku. In the Grand Magic Games arc, when Gajeel was facing Rogue, the shadows will erode him and almost start to kill him, but Gajeel said, if Natsu can do it, I can too. He then starts eating the shadows. Eating the shadows will act as antibodies, and then he would transform into the Shadow Dragon Slayer. Not only the Shadow Dragon Slayer, but the Shadow Iron Dragon Slayer. He later then can actually use this form in future battles. Gajeel fought Tora in the Tenro Island arc, so now not only is he known as the Iron Dragon Slayer, but now he can use Steel Dragon Slayer magic. In the recent arc, the Springon 12 arc, Gajeel eats the magical barrier particles, digests the iron and steel, and enters the first ever Dragon Fort that he has done. While Gajeel actually turned into Iron Dragon Slayer, then Steel Dragon Slayer, and Iron Shadow Dragon Slayer, even have his Iron mode, This is the first time that they ever went Dragon Force, the next evolution of a Dragon Slayer. His magic comes from Iron Dragon Slayer magic taught by Meliconda. His abilities range from Iron Dragon's Roar, Iron Dragon's Lance, Iron Dragon's Lance Demon Logs, Iron Dragon's Scales. This is where he can cover his body all the way to his face and everywhere, and he can defend himself being the Iron Dragon's Club, Iron Dragon's Sword, Steel Dragon Sword, Iron Dragon's Kunai, etc, etc. He has a range of abilities and he's very versatile. He's not only a close range fighter, but he's also a mid-range fighter. Overall, Gajeel is one hell of a foe. Fairy Tail's Gajeel. Gajeel's a male. His classification, he's a human / mage / dragon slayer. His age, he's biologically 19, but he was originally born over 400 years ago and sent to the future using an eclipse gate, should be as old as Natsu. Powers and abilities. He has superhuman strength, speed, durability, enhanced senses, particularly smell, magic elemental manipulation. Iron and steel, can manipulate the metal produced from his body freely, can spontaneously generate iron steel objects from his body alteration, can transmute his limbs into melatotic weapons. Speed, supersonic / hypersonic, was fast enough to intercept attacks from Lox's lightning bolt. Durability, multi-city level, block level. Durability, multi-city block level. Iron Dragon Scales further reinforce natural ability. Stamina, extremely large, has shown to fight multiple opponents without resting, can eat iron to restore his magic power and stamina. Range, close range / mid-range, several hundred meters with range attacks. Intelligence, has shown to be smart in battle situation, isn't that smart outside of combat. Fairy Tail's Lily. His origin is Fairy Tail, he's a male, his age is unknown, he is an XC, his classification, cat, human-based XC, his attack potency is possibly average human level, stronger than Happy and Carla even in cat form, city block level, was able to damage Gajeel, destroy several parts of a floating island in Edolas. Speed at least supersonic with area supersonic plus. Durability, wall level plus, at least multi-city block level, resisted several attacks from base Gajeel. His stamina, very high. Range, low average human range, typically human melee range. Standard equipment, Buster Marm, sword. Intelligence, considerably intelligent. Weakness, his battle mode has a time limit.
My name is Greed. I want everything you could possibly think of. I want money and power and women, sex, status, glory.
Greed the Average is the third oldest homunculus in the series Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. As his name implies, he's a very avaricious character. He wants the finer things in life, women, luxury, everything the world has to offer. He wants it. He is Greed.
But wait a minute. What are the homunculus?
The homunculi are artificial created humans. They are brought upon this world by the means of alchemy. The man who has created them is also the main antagonist of the 2009 Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood series. He is known as Father. In the series Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, there are two Greeds.
Two Greeds?
Yes, there's two Greeds.
But what's the difference?
The first Greed is the Greed that's known to live over 200 plus years. The second one is known to have Ling Yao inside him, thus creating Greed Ling.
What happened to the first Greed?
That's the thing. Greed died. When Greed was fighting Edward in Devil's Nest, he actually met Wrath the Furious, who was also known as King Bradley. King Bradley tricked Greed and took him underneath the mistress to go meet Father. When Greed goes to see his father, it's not a very pleasant meeting. Because not only is Father there, but his siblings are there. The 7 deadly sins.
But wait a minute. What are the 7 deadly sins?
While the 7 deadly sins is actually real world material, it is incorporated in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. The 7 deadly sins are the homunculi. The 7 deadly sins consist of envy, pride, lust, wrath, greed, sloth, and gluttony. While Greed is having a family reunion with his father and family, he is being very disobedient. It got to the point where Father even asks, "I will save your life if you come work for me." And Greed replied,
Never.
After Greed's response to his father is forced to kill his own son, but not in a pleasant way. He puts him in a melting pot full of magma.
Now, can you say overkill?
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't overkill. One of the only ways to kill a homunculus is with fire or fire-based property, and in this case, it's magma. After Greed dies, Father retains Greed's original Philosopher's Stone, thus later creating another Greed known as Greedling.
But who is Greedling?
Now this is where things get very interesting and confusing at the same time. Greedling is not only greed. Greedling is Ling Yao, a foreigner from Jing. He has come to a mistress in search of immortality. It's ironic because Ling Yao becomes Greed, who is thus becoming Greedling.
So you're telling me Greed and Ling Yao become Greedling?
Yes.
But how were they created together? Yo, I know it's not because of magic.
It wasn't magic. It was alchemy. Father had given Ling Yao the original Greed's Philosopher's Stone, thus making Greedling. Greedling's fighting style is different and actually better than the first Greed. Why? Because there's two Greeds instead of one. Or actually, two people instead of one.
You know the saying, two heads are better than one.
Fun fact, Dragon Ball Z does not apply to that rule. Instead of two heads are better than one head is better than two via fusion.
Man, get your ass back on track. This is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, not Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you're right, my bad. Now back to Greedling's fighting style. Like I said, his is actually better than Greed's because there's two people inside him.
Disclaimer, no pun intended.
Greed is the brawn of the two. He focused more on his defense because he's also known as the ultimate shield, while Ling Yao actually focused more on his martial art capabilities. He's very talented in not only in martial arts, but sensing other opponents. And in this case, it's the homunculi. Not only can Ling sense homunculi, but he can sense, locate, and track the cue of the living beings around him, such as animals, allies, and foes. Ling is also a tactician. He's able to think 2 steps ahead of his opponent that he is facing at that time frame. Greed is also good in the defensive aspect because he's also known as the ultimate shield. The ultimate shield durability is very strong. His ultimate shield is as strong as diamond, and diamond is known as the hardest material on earth. With the sensibility of Ling Yao and the destructive capabilities of Greed, these two are very strong together. They are a force to be reckoned with.
Now is Greed a hero or a villain?
Honestly, I can't even answer that question. Greed is like a villain in the beginning of the series in some aspects, but he's also a hero at the end of the series. But on top of that, he keeps his villain type personality, which makes him an anti-hero and anti-villain. To be honest, Greed is not hero or villain. He's just neutral.
Fullmetal Alchemist Greed. Greedling, he is a male, the age 17 for Ling and 200 plus years old for Greed. Classification, he's an homunculus / human. Powers and abilities, he has superhuman strength, speed, durability, endurance, agility, and pre-recognition. Can make his skin as hard as diamond. Regeneration abilities and immortality. His attack potency is large building level. His speed is supersonic plus. If you guys know how much that range, it's very fast. Durability, city block level. Stamina high, possibly limitless since he's immortal. Range, he's a close range fighter. Standard equipment, Philosopher's Stone and his core / sword. Intelligence is high, above average. Weakness, Greed is very overconfident as well as Ling Yao. Fullmetal Alchemist Ling Yao. Origin, Fullmetal Alchemist. He's a male, he is 15. Classification, Princess Shing, Traveler, Homunculus, Centigrade, Ultimate Shield. Power and abilities, superhuman strength, speed, durability, endurance, agility, pre-recognition, can make his skin as hard as diamond. Attack potency, street level / building level. Speed, supersonic plus, kept up with a casual King Bradley, should be comparable to Edward. Hypersonic plus, somewhat kept up with an eye patchless King Bradley. Durability, street level, large building level. Stamina, very high. Range over 12 meters, close range and mid range. Standard equipment source, none notable, although he may possess a Philosopher's Stone somewhere deep inside his body. Intelligence above average, has plenty of combat intelligence. Weakness, he's very arrogant.
Fight.
So killing my henchmen is the same as stealing from me, and I don't let people take what's mine.
Now I know what you're thinking. Gajeel lost and Greed won? Even though Gajeel has more magic abilities, Gajeel lost? Well, here's the thing. Even though Gajeel has a range, and I mean a range of magic abilities, Greed just had more stamina. He was also immortal. And on top of that, he can make his skin as hard as diamond. And even though Gajeel actually ate carbon to make his skin as hard as steel, steel is still not as hard as diamond. The only reason this battle even went as far as it did is because Greed is arrogant. Greed didn't go into his final form, so he just played around with Gajeel. But once that happened, it was pretty much a one-sided battle. Gajeel can put up a great fight, but until he learns how to make his carbon into diamond instead of transforming it into steel, he's always gonna lose. Anime Dream Match, the winner is Greed.